Again Jesus spoke to them, saying, I am the light of the world. Whoever follows me will not walk in darkness, but will have the light of life. The hour has come for the Son of Man to be glorified. Very truly, I tell you, unless a kernel of wheat falls to the ground and dies, it remains only a single seed. But if it dies, it produces many seeds. Whoever wants to save his life will lose it. But whoever loses his life for my sake will save it. Swami Vivekananda, in his own words and his own experience as well, explains how to gain this eternal life. He says, give up the small for the infinite. Give up small enjoyments for infinite bliss. It is all yours. For the impersonal includes the personal. The Vedanta says there is nothing but God. There is nothing that is not God. The moment I have realized God sitting in the temple of every human body, the moment I stand in reverence before every human being and see God in him, that moment I am free from bondage. Everything that binds vanishes, and I am free, eternal. Dear all, happy Easter. Welcome. Our speaker today is Swami Sarvadevananda. He is the head of the Vedanta Society of Southern California and our spiritual leader. The topic today is Christ the Messenger.
Om Krishtaya Ishadutayo Ishadharma Pracharine Atma Tyago Pradiptayo Shanyashine Vai Namo Namaha Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. I offer our salutation to Jesus Christ, the messenger of God, who preached the message of the Lord to the humankind, the great renouncer monk, who is like a bright and shining fire of self-sacrifice. Our salutation goes to him again and again. Om peace, peace, peace be unto us all. Happy Christmas, Easter. We have already heard about what is the message of Christ. Christ came to bring this message of awakening of our own self. His advent is for the good of humanity and not located in any particular area, zone, but it is for the whole universe, whole world. The God, when incarnates, according to Hindu philosophy, God comes to redeem all. And he takes intense suffering, endures intense pain to redeem us from our own suffering. Why he should take that? Because he is coming itself is with the compassion. He comes. He is the Lord of the universe. He is the creator of the universe. When he comes, there is no other intention. only to see the suffering of human being, how we are trapped into our petty identity of our body mind, and how we are trapped into our own isolated idea about who we see about ourselves. The Lord comes to awaken that consciousness, what is within, hidden. Though my topic is today, given the Christ the Messenger, that message, his whole life is message. His whole being is message. And whatever he did in every movement of life, that is his message. And particularly today being Easter, we are to focus on Easter idea. So I take this advantage to think on that line. It is Christ is there, God is there, and I am happy with me. That is not bringing any spiritual benefit to anyone. If God is there, I should see him. If he is there, he should reveal in my heart. That is the principle on which the spiritual life and its journey takes us. So we find that the foundation of the Christian faith is the life of Christ, the death of Christ, and mostly the resurrection of Christ. This is very important. His birth, in the Bhagavad Gita also, when Krishna's birth, it is said, Dibya, that is divine. His birth is divine. Karma, his life is divine. Activity is divine. And his leaving the body is also divine. People can meditate on those aspects and then gradually live a life of spiritual growth and development. Feel the touch of God. It becomes very easy when God appears in the human body, because feeling the presence as a human being, you can connect more easily rather than gods and goddesses in the heaven. They're too far away from us. But when he descends in the human form, walks on the ground like us, we get more close and we can really feel that he is like us, our own. So this is very important, that this, when God comes in every idea of avatara, it is called that their sport, we call the divine sport, that's why. It is the divine sport which gives us the touch of the divine being in the human body and looking at them as human, but the superhuman working behind, lurking behind that personality. The Christ lived a perfect life, of righteous life, and that ordinary people cannot live up to that. He suffered the pain of crucifixion for the redemption of the world. He rose from the dead that first Easter morning and appeared 3 times. First to Mary Magdalene, and who told to the Christ companion about the vision, but they didn't believe. Then we find the second time Christ appeared in another form to 2 of Marys, of them when they are walking along on their way to the country. And they returned and told the disciples about who they also didn't believe. And the third time, as all the 11 disciples were at the table, Christ appeared before them and rebuked them for their disbelieving and hardness of the heart. Even he shows his stigmata, this all the touch here, you can feel it. God is tangible. Otherwise it is a theory. Here is the point, which is very important to understand about this Easter, significance of this Easter, and why the whole Christian world, along with the lovers of God, celebrate this day. Because it is a question of realizing who is Christ, not intellectually, not theoretically, not reading books, but to have that experience of the presence of the divine. And we are so full of doubts and confusion. Even if God comes before us, we will not be able to recognize. We deny. Denial is that's why we say that we are devotees, we love God, we want to see God. But in another sense, we always deny God. That's why Vedanta says, don't seek God, but see God. How can you see if it is not there? It is there. All the time there. Vedantic way of understanding is very simple. Every one of us have to accept this theory that we are living in God. We are talking in God, we are sleeping in God, we are crying in God, we are weeping in God, we are frustrated in God. In every emotions, it is we are in touch with God. This body is a dead body. It cannot function in any way unless God as consciousness is behind this body and mind. Anyone can deny that? What is the difference between this body and the dead body? All the organs are there. Just the person was alive, maybe just dead. What happens? What is the distinction? It's only if the consciousness and bliss, which is God's another name, Vedanta talks in this vein, God is love, God is consciousness, God is bliss, God is the absolute reality. And you say in another language, God seated in the heart, another language. But the question is that if that presence is not there, this dead body, it will be a dead body. Just it will go to cemetery. Immediately mortuary people will put it into the deep fridge. This is the condition of the body. But how the body is active, I am seeing you. You are seeing me. We are talking. We are exchanging our ideas. What is that presence is allowing us to feel, to act, to react, to suffer, to enjoy. It is there, but we deny. Look at that. Whole life, what do we do? We are searching for God here and there and there and there. And denying this presence which is here all the moment, in every breath. In your dream, in your waking, in your sleep, you are connected with God and divine. Without that support, you cannot dream, you cannot sleep, you cannot function in the physical body. So this is very intellectually we can understand. There is some consciousness behind the mind and body. That presence allows us to see. Eyes see, it is blinking. Ears hearing. Our understanding, our right or wrong concept, doing, wrong doing, right doing, everything is dictated because this energy is here. Manifesting through the different levels of the mind. That's why manifestation is different. Someone is holy, someone is unholy. Holiness, unholiness in the manifestation, because it is the media through which it is manifesting, the mind, the intellect, the ego, and egoless mind, pure mind and pure intellect person. That is the distinction between this. But nothing can be accepted without the presence of God. And that God is here and all the time. Now this is a very subtle way of understanding. But we are in denial. That is my point. As the disciples of Christ even, they could not believe that the Christ was crucified and he appeared. Ramakrishna passed away and he appeared and said, "Where did I go? I am in this room or the other room." It's a tangible expression of the presence. But our mind is not ready for this. Mind wants to deny in the name of searching for God. Rabindranath Tagore has a poem where he says, "I want to worship you, O Lord, and I put my incense and fragrance and flowers and all these things. But in vain, doing all these things, I forget you." Just remember, when you do some special offering to the Lord, what do? You go to shopping and purchasing and then bringing and cooking and cleaning and this and that. Do we remember if I'm doing for God? So in a way, we think that we are remembering Him, we want to see Him, but we are actually in this vein, we are making a plan to forget Him. So that's why this doubt remains in us. Where is God? How is God? But here is the question, we have to contemplate on this issue, very important issue of resurrection of Christ. What does it mean to us? And especially during this time when we contemplate on the Easter. Of course, it is for the children's egg hunt, and that's a ritual, and also some feasting in the Bulgaria and other areas. One devotee was telling me yesterday that in America the Easter is not that much celebratory as in Christmas, but in Bulgaria we have the greatest celebration on this Easter day. So they prepare food and meal and together they come and make merry. But real merriment is the seeing God. So here we have to contemplate what is the significance of this Easter. We see that it shows many things in life, how to endure suffering in life. You are holding on to truth, but suffering comes. But how you can have the courage to face the challenges, holding on to truth. That is one, endurance, our limit of, and keeping the tranquility of the mind. Enduring thing, keeping the tranquility, because it is passing, it will pass. But which does not pass, holding on to that. That's a total Vedanta. That's why in the Vedantic text it says that it is said that Sahanam Sarva Dukkhanam, enduring all types of dukkha, suffering or pain. Sahanam Sarva Dukkha, apratikara purvakam, even not trying to correct it or bend it. And never even thinking of that. Chinta vilapurahitam. There will be no thought about that, this pain and suffering which someone caused. Against that, mind will be so absorbed in the divine self that this thought will not even come. And rather in the opposite way, you will thank that person who have persecuted you. What Christ did. Christ said, "Oh Lord, please forgive them. They do not know." Forgiveness at that point of crucifixion is a matter of extreme strength and power to endure. Enduring is sometimes painful. We endure, no? Endure means, I cannot give you a fist back. I am enduring. Not that sense. All this sense of reaction is gone. Physical reaction, which is outward, mental reaction, and in memory also. All these planes, this thought of reaction will be gone. And also it proves that death of the body is not the end of all. Death of the body is the only one part. But there is an eternal entity which is undying. That this resurrection proves. And it is said, God can be seen here and now. This is also when you remember that when Mary Magdalene went to with all the fragrance and other things to anoint the body, and they are thinking how to enter into the cave, because the face is with a big stone block has been put there, and they think, we are ladies, how can we move this big blockage? And suddenly the stone fell off, rolled away. See, when a sincere seeker is searching for the Lord, what happens? The veil which covers our vision, the Lord there and myself there. And Vedanta tells about the ignorance. This veil drops off. That's the first point. To whom it will reveal? Whose mind is searching for God only. And no other attraction, no other choice, no other thing to gain in any way. So we find that the stone rolled over before the eyes of Mary. That means the veil dropped from the mind. And the mind become purified. And there is love and deep reverence for the Lord. And they're panting to see the body of Christ, whom he thought that is I should not miss that. And what happened? And it disappeared. First of all, the veil should go. In Vedanta, two terms. What is called? First is called avarana, is veiling. And second is the projection. This world is like that. There is God everywhere. But Vedanta says, what has happened? A veil of ignorance. Like the movie. We go to the movie. The first light is switched off. Music goes on, and you enter into the movie. You see many people, all our friends, and you can take some popcorn and munch and talk and chit-chat. But now, after that, the movie starts. World movie, this phenomenal universe. What happens? You see, suddenly the switch is off. The darkness comes. And we are sitting side by side, but our focus is not with our friends, the reality in which we are living. God, we forget that. First is veil. And then you see, when the white screen projection is coming. And that is this created universe as we see, forgetting our real identity, and we are seeing something which is not there. And the opposite way it will happen. When the movie is ending, what happens? You see? They put the light on and the switch off. So no projection. So two things are happening there. Veil drops and projection stops. So veil, here we find, before the eyes of Mary, it was blocked. And it rolled as a stone when it's rolled before her eyes, and then she entered inside. And then she found the angel saying something. Where is he gone? He is gone. He's not here. And give this message that he is alive, he slept. So this message of the presence of God and it is not a just story, but it is a reality, that conviction. In the scripture it is said that to whom God reveals. Upanishad says, Yam eva isha brinute tena labdho. It is he. If God accepts the disciple, the student, then the darkness of the student's heart disappears. This is the one way of devotional. God's grace, then that helps us see God face to face. It is His grace. Another explanation is there. No, you should be gracious. You should be curious. You should be not curious, superficial. You should be searching for God. Yam eva esha. You should accept God. And then God will accept you. So this is the idea. Yam eva esha brinuti tena labhya. Tasya atma. To that person, the Atman, the self, be brinute, opens up, reveals his own divine nature. So here you find a perfect parallelism that this mind was purified. So whole teaching of Easter stands here. We need a purified mind. We need a craving for God. I want to see God, I want to touch God, I want to serve God. Sincere craving. Ramakrishna used to cry and weep and wail. Nothing is meaningful. Everything is useless unless I see Mother, Mother, Mother. He called God as Mother. But this cry, this sincere yearning with which Mary went there, to touch, to clean, to put those fine, beautiful, fragrant things. It was her urge, her sincerity. So Easter message is this message that we should be wanting God. We have everything. But that does not give you peace. It may give temporary peace. But that peace is only in God and God alone. To give the eternal peace, you need to be eager and ready and waiting. When the whole world is sleeping, but it is Mary's responsibility. In her heart it came. She first went there. Said, see, how many are in the world people are searching for God? So first, sincere seeker with the earnest desire that the truth must be revealed to my life. That is, Sri Ramakrishna talked about Vyakulata. Vyakulata means sincere craving, sincere desire, panting, giving the example. What will be the situation of that mind? Ramakrishna gave the example that a student went to teacher and told, "Sir, how can I realize God?" Then the teacher didn't say anything and took the student to a reservoir. And then he said, "Take a dip." And when his head was drowned, then he pushed his head under the water for a long time. And after some time, when he was restless, then he released him. He said, "How do you feel?" He said, "I was panting for breath." Sri Ramakrishna said, you have to pant for like that, for God. And pure mind should be pure. What is pure mind? Pure mind is that our mind is impure. Why? We try to find that eternal joy through things of the limited nature and through the limited senses. As we try to get it through limited senses and limited sense objects, the joy is just like a drop. And by that time you get that drop, dry heat comes and it dries out. It's like a sprinkling water in the hot pan. Little something comes, by that time again burning fire comes. Because more desire comes to get joy from this object, okay, that object to that object. There's nothing wrong to get to that. But when you are tired of this, avitripto disham nrinam, when people of spiritual life gets really tired, that I have tried to get this type of peace and joy through the object of the senses, but it only creates an illusion of joy and it does not give me rest and peace. So how can I attain to that peace and joy which is absolute, which will remain with me forever. That is called, in another sense also, renunciation. These are one thing coming to the other. That's why this verse, which is composed by probably Swadhananda Swami or somebody, who says that he presented Christ as sannyasi, the monk, who is blazing with the fire of renunciation. What is renunciation? Renouncing this pettiness of life, these little things which the world life can give. To crave for the higher, greater and greater and greater, and that, where it will be limitless. That should be the goal of human life. Christ, this shows in this episode of whatever in Easter stories, that we have to search unceasingly with continuous effort. Satu dirgha kala, that practice should be continued. This search should not be finished with small prayers in the morning and evening, or one day, or in a weekend service. No, it should be a constant search for that joy, higher joy, more joy, more joy. How can I get it? It is whatever I get, that is also limited. I cannot be satisfied. That this yearning should be there. And that point, renouncing everything. Other things are of no value to that person who is searching for this higher joy. And that earnestness will come. That's called the Vyakulata, earnestness, sincere yearning, coming in the mind of a pure person. Pure mind means whose mind have tested all these experiences which the world can give, what this sensate universe can please us, and understanding its futility and momentariness. They are searching for something abiding, something limitless. So this, when that urge comes, that time comes, then will the stone, the blockage of ignorance will just wipe out. All the realized souls, in a pass of moment, that veil dropped for them. And then they are established in their eternal glory. Shankara, the Lord Shankaracharya, in his Viveka Chudamani, he mentioned that this universe of name and form in which I was living, it was so tangible, so real, but it didn't satisfy me. Then today I found that at this point of experience of the highest, this whole universe has dropped off from me. This universe of name and form, this universe of brightness and joy and pleasure and pain, both, it is together. The suffering and pain, all these what we see, this disappears. And disappears not in voidness, but it appeared as the expression of eternal bliss and joy. But where did this world go, which is so much real, was so much real before me? So when the veil drops, this projection also goes away. Veil is ignorance, and projection which your mind has created, projected on this, are my likes and my dislikes. That both drop. So Bhikshep and Avarana, both the characteristics of ignorance, drops off, and then the eternal light, the shining light, the pure joy of the divine permeates all through the body and everywhere. The sea, everywhere everything is pulsating with that eternal joy and blessings. So this is the message, I think, what is talked about. So, but we may say this question that we do not see it. We do not see it. How come we can believe that? Yes, we may not see it, but let us try. Let us try this process to remember today particularly That we say only, many people, Christian world will say, oh, Christ suffered for me. Okay, but what you are doing? What is the responsibility on us? Christ suffered for me, so I can do whatever I like. And this is taking the very easy path. So he has suffered for all of us. So I have no responsibility. I need not have to purify my mind. I did not have to pray. I didn't have to do anything. God has done everything for me. And that's an escapist mentality, and it will not give joy. People are trying that way. but it is an easy way of attaining eternal joy. No, it won't. So the question is that this important point comes here, that purity of the heart, cry for God vision, tears of love, these are needed to experience this resurrection. Resurrection should be here. Now the question will be, does the resurrection happen in a very concrete material form outside? You can say yes, you can say no. It is yes, because not only Mary, I'm talking about Sri Ramakrishna, saw with the eyes was open. He was looking at the mother, and the mother's image become bright and brighter and become engulfed the whole temple full of light and effulgence. He was watching like that, and then it dropped. But there are so many people also standing there. Did they see mother? They didn't see. So you can say this resurrection happens in physical world or in your mental world, pure mind. It is said that it may happen in the physical. One Totapuri, in the recent stories of Ramakrishna's life, when he was trying to commit suicide because of his stomach pain, he said that I am not the body, and then pain is so much. He thought that is too much. So I am saying all the time I am not the body, still body is, I am connected with that body so much, I should kill this body or destroy this. So he went drown himself into the Ganga, heavy Ganga flow. It's a river. Boats and ships sometimes used to run in that area. But he could not get enough water. Going from this bank to the other bank, water was only knee-deep water. So he thought, my God, what happened? Then he came back, and with utter surprise came to Ramakrishna and reported, I was in such pain, and I was thinking to commit suicide by drowning myself. But miracle, the whole Ganga is such a overflowing water, it could not give me sufficient water to drown. Then Ramakrishna said, you rascal, you don't believe my mother. So you go to mother, and then you will solve the problem. And actually, he was a Vedanta student, he didn't believe in name and form. It's all idol worship, this, that. But he went and listened to Ramakrishna and went and saw this mother. It is no more a stone image. He found that it's all effulgent. It's like a living, real mother with full of love and compassion. And then it is expanding this light and effulgence, and saw that she pervades everything in the universe. So that was Totapuri was such a great soul. This much was left for him. So that veil dropped. So this world then disappears. It is only mother, nothing but mother. And that Shakti, that power. So this is the point, that it happens in the physical plane. Yes, it starts there, but at the same time you will say, not in the physical. If it is in the physical, so whoever was there around, everyone would have the same vision. But it is not. So it happens only because who have the pure in heart, blessed are the pure in heart, for they shall see God. Isn't it? Blessed are the pure in heart, for they shall see God. What is the pure? Pure means, pure is a frightening thing. No. Pure is very simple. Pure means God. Mind thinks of God. Mind is saturated with God. That is the pure mind. So how that purity can be imbibed in our heart? By thinking of God, by chanting the name, by praying, by meditation, by service to others, by looking upon the divine entity, looking the divine entity in everyone. These are the means. So it is the pure heart is created that way. Then becomes in that pure heart, the experiences become palpable and you cannot deny it. We find that it happened again and again with the pure heart. When they become totally tuned, the whole world loses its meaning and purpose. And there's Christian mystics when they are feeling the stigmata, no? They got so much enthused and embraced, totally infused into the consciousness of Christ, that you can see the reality, how this palm will be bleeding. A person thinking of God, wow, how can it be possible? It is pain, but it is pain with God. And that is no pain. When you are with God, there is no pain. Pain is no pain. Pain is for the physical body, but that is a state where there is no pain. So these Christian mystics, we found that in Ramakrishna tradition, many stories, Sri Ramakrishna, when he talked about vision, he said, I have seen God more palpably than I see you as I see you. That means God can be seen more palpably. So it is in the pure mind only. Pure mind can show that. Holy Mother saw Sri Ramakrishna. Shashi Maharaj, Swami Ramakrishna, he saw suddenly Vivekananda passed away in Calcutta. And Shashi Maharaj, Ramakrishna, he was in Madras, Chennai, thousands of miles of distance. And he suddenly saw Swami Vivekananda saying that, oh, Shashi, I give up the body like spitting. I spat out the body. And actually the telegram came that Swami Vivekananda left the body that time. So you can be seen that this physical body is not all. In the pure mind, you can have the vision and experiences. Visions and experiences are as real as this world is real. In this present level of vibration, we see this world as reality. And when mind becomes purer, it vibrates in different higher flights. Forget about Vedantic ultimate vision. This vision of gods and goddesses and angels. So many saints and seers of truth in all religions have testified that it happens when the mind gains its purity more and more and more and more. And no one, it can be said no, because then everybody could have seen those visions in the physical plane. When one mystic is having the experience, others should have seen the same way. No, one would have question about the existence of such divine forms if this was happening in a physical level. So material science declares that physical truths are perceivable by anyone and everyone if they have the instruments and knowledge about them. That's true. Here in this room, we have all the TV channels, all the vibrations are here, isn't it? All the radio channels, music channels, whatever you can find, it is here. But can it be seen? Very simple. Yes, it can be seen. You bring one instrument, a television set, and then connect it with proper things, and then put which channel you want to see. And you see, that play is going on. Here, now all the vibrations are here. So if physical world can work in that formula, why not in your spiritual world, in the mind? You can see so many things in different planes of your development. If you can keep your mind here, one world will come up. Another level is a journey to purity, purity, purity. And when they see vision of God and the pure form like Christ, Buddha, Rama, Krishna, is a very, very high altitude here. Very pure mind needed to see those visions. So this is possible, and in material science also talks about that. So that is why doubts will arise in our life. Even if we hear all these things, still we will be doubtful. We will be saying that, oh, it has happened. Maybe it is hallucination. That's why many times experience and hallucination we get confused into that. Experience, when it comes, it is undeniable. Experience, even the whole world, Swami Vivekananda said, if the whole world comes with a sword in hand to kill you, you will say, no, I know this as truth. Because your own experience. So experience will give the conviction, firm conviction, undeniable conviction. That's why these doubts will remain in the mind of we who are in this plane. Will have to carry on with these principles of sincere yearning and the process of purifying our heart. And this journey should be continued with conviction. First, a faith. What is called faith? That's why faith is more important. You may say that faith, why shall I be believing something which I do not know? Yes, you do not know, does not mean that truth is not there. Because the saints and sages have seen, it is true. They have seen, and not only, many of them have verified the same truth again and again. So that has given the validity of the truth. And if we go in that journey, then we will have the same vision. But it does not give us the perfect conviction until we are prepared with our pure mind and pure yearning and pure search for the divine. So it is said in the Upanishad, Vidyate Hridaya Granthi Siddhante Sarva Samshaya Tasmin Drishte Paravari. When you have the climax vision, when your mind is totally so pure that it absorbs into that, it melts into that reality, then who will say what is that experience? You cannot say it is there, you cannot say it is not there, because you are gone. Ramakrishna's example of the salt doll trying to measure the depth and width of the ocean. So when the salt doll moves into the ocean, what happens? It dissolves and dissolves and dissolves. When it totally dissolves, who will say ocean is big or small, how deep or how wide? So that is the state where mouth becomes speechless. And that, when they come back, some people describe as Sunna, some say Purna, some say He is there, some say we cannot describe. That is the way they present before the world. But all these doubts about the reality will go away only when we have the direct vision. I must have to see. Here comes the spiritual life. This Easter is not a cumulative celebratory thing. It is celebration here in the heart with the pure mind. Just to enjoy the presence and becoming more and more connected and deep and deeper and deeper and deeper penetration. Then what will happen? That revelation will come. And that we should have to struggle for that. Two things, doubts Yes, there will be doubt, but we have to have some working faith. Vidyate hridaya granthi. We have just the knot. There is a knot in our heart. With the consciousness, with this world and God. We are seeing God as non-existent, world is existing. But it is a mixture, it has happened in our mind. And second point is that doubt will remain. Is it true? I see this world like this, tangible. Is there other realms of reality where we can see divine vision and experience which can soothe our life forever and can keep our life in perfect blissfulness? This doubt, but that will go if we move on. So to visualize this experience, that's supreme, whether the absolute aspect, whether you think of the God in the form or not, saguna or nirguna, then that or in the avatar form, it needs the purity of the heart, and we have to work on that. We need to seek for God in that sense, the yearning for God. Because this subtle and sublime truth can be realized only in the very pure, subtle and sublime mind. And that's why we need to polish the mind. That's why we chant every time. Chant the name of the Lord and His glory unceasingly. Always, every day we try to say, polish the mind. And polishing with God. By noble thoughts, by prayers, by selfless service, by meditation and detachment, or any discipline that may help you. So, Christ, actually, the main point is that Christ's blessings, what Swami Vivekananda said, the whole world, if all the scriptures are destroyed from the world, but only this message remains from Christ. Blessed are the pure in heart, for they shall see God. The world will be saved. So here is the emphasis. What can help us to have this vision in our life and this resurrection of the Lord in our heart? And we should have to work on that. Seeing God is preconditioned by the purity of our emotions, feelings, love. Mind should day in and day out think of the pure thoughts, godly thoughts. God is pure. Thinking of God, mind becomes pure and God appears. Sun appears. No, sun is always there, but sun, only cloud disappears from the vision. So God appears, that's resurrection happens. So to remove the clouds of the mind is our struggle, and that is the message of Easter. And we should have to, responsibility is upon us now. We have to work on this message by increasing our urge for God realization, trying our best to purify our mind with noble thoughts, noble actions, feeling for the others, service to others, and experiencing the world and its futility. Then it will lead us to the inner realm of our resurrection. Thank you. So let us enjoy the Easter now. Enjoy in this way to find the resurrection within. Egg hunt is a symbolic thing. Find egg. To find that what is the potential inside. To open up. Okay, I will offer my salutation to Christ again with this verse. Om madhura sarala vakkoi ishatattam prakasya krushagato parisheshopi ishaputro amritoya tamatishayam pavitram merijang lokabandhum parama prema murting Dinanatham bhajama. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. We bow down to Jesus Christ, whose sweet and simple words reveal the truth and knowledge of God, who though crucified is immortal, the Son of God. He is purified, he is purity incarnate. He is born of Mary. He is the friend of all, the Lord of the lowly, and the supreme love personified. I worship him, the Lord of the lowly. Peace, peace, peace be unto us.